I wanna do it all with you by my side. If you're in, meet me here tonight. Be brave and come along, I'll be your ride. Promise we don't need no brake lights. We can travel the world, so just...
Hey everyone, finally I'm going to do a gear review today. Thought the best way to do it was to load up my pack with everything. First, I laid my clothes out as well, go through with the clothing I'm going to be wearing for my winter start, and then move on to the bag. Cover everything on the outside of the bag that I'm bringing, and then go into the inside of the bag. So the shoes I'm going to start with are Lone Peak all-weather shoes. They're waterproof, Gore-Tex. I've been training in them all winter. They've been keeping my feet relatively dry depending on the snow conditions. But I'm going to start in these. You know, I've been training in them and they are starting to wear, but I just don't want to deal with trying to get a new pair of shoes to start. These have been working really well, and I think I can get through the Smokies with these, and then I'll need to switch them out. I have Dirty Girl Gaiters that I'll also be wearing. I have Injinji socks, toe socks. And then I got myself a heavier weight pair of Darn Tough socks to start because I know it's going to be cold. Ex Officio underwear, boxer briefs, a pair of Patagonia running shorts. They're really lightweight. They are lined. And I'll be wearing these over a pair of Nike winter weight running tights. I did some research and I did decide to go with a Burnj, not sure how you say it, mesh shirt, short sleeve shirt for my base layer. It's been working really well. It takes the sweat off your body and moves it into your mid layer. And I've noticed a difference. It seems to keep me warmer. It's made of wool. So I'll be bringing this. And then I'll be wearing a Paca hoodie. I'll be wearing that. It's a little heavier than the sun hoodies that I traditionally wear during the warmer weather. So I figured it would be good for a winter start, but I definitely will be changing this out in the warmer weather. My guess would be my mid layer is also going to be the Cool, Kuhl, not Cool. Quarter zip, 3/4 zip pullover. This is synthetic, but it's been working really well for me. You know, I put a lot of thought into this. It's so easy to overthink your clothing, particularly for a winter start, because the temperatures could be in the single digits, teens, 20s, and up into the 50s. So I kind of wanted to have a system in place that allowed me to adjust for the temperatures. You know, some days I may just wear the hoodie and the base layer. Other days I may just wear the base layer and my mid layer. It depends. And this t-shirt I am bringing, so if it does get to be into the 50s or 60s and it's warm enough, I could just wear my shorts and this t-shirt during the winter start. And I have a merino buff that I'll be bringing as well. The good thing is living here in New England is I've been able to test out all these clothing items in the single digits, teens, 20s, 30s, and when I've gone out on these training hikes, I've purposely worn different combinations to see what works best, and I'm really happy. My rain pants I'll wear over my tights on a really cold day or if it's windy, and I've been happy. That's actually kept me pretty warm in temperatures down into the low teens and single digits when I've been doing my training hikes. All right, let's move on to my pack. My pack is a Z-Packs 50-liter Arc Haul. It's super lightweight pack. I'm really happy with it. I like that it has the stays that allow a gap between the pack and your back, so there's some ventilation. I found that that's helpful. You know, I decided to go with the fanny pack attachment on it versus the pockets that you can put on the hip belt. This system allows me to, it attaches into the pack while I'm hiking. And my plan is to keep my snacks, my wallet, and other important stuff that I'm trying to get to, my lip balm, whatever, in here during the day when I'm hiking. And then when I get into town, there's another strap in here that you can use to make it into a fanny pack or a satchel, whichever you prefer to do. So in here right now I have a few things, just some snacks and some Element hydration drink. I'm pretty sure I'm going to bring these. These are the Aftershocks bone conduction earbuds. These are great. I've seen other people use them on the trail. I've actually had these for several years. They're nice because you can wear them and the audio goes through your jawbone and into your ears, and you can still hear what's going on around you, which is important. So I'll be bringing those. I have a chicken tramp gear wallet, and I'll have some cash, credit cards, my medical card, such in here. So that's that. On my pack, I do wear prescription glasses, so I bought a case, super light, got it at REI recently. I wanted a case that was protective, that would keep it from getting crushed. Up top here, I just have a standard REI face cloth, wipe my nose, wipe the sweat off. I have a pair of Gooder sunglasses that I'm bringing, that I'm keeping right up front here. This is a Hyperlight phone case, my phone I'm currently using. I have a new phone. I just got a new iPhone 16 Pro Max, and that's what I'm shooting this video with. But that'll go in here. And I did buy a pair of Apple earbuds. The bad part of these is that the battery dies on them, then you don't have that. And I'm going to be doing a lot of editing on the trail, so I wanted to have these earbuds that just plug in, so that if I'm in a hostel or I'm in a shelter at night or the tent and I need to edit, I can still do that. Nobody wants to hear all my mistakes when I shoot my video and my music that I'm trying to decide on. The tripod that I'm using, I really love this tripod. I think it's called the Aura Day tripod. It was less than $20 on Amazon. And what I like the most about it is it's the flexible legs on it. If you watch any of my videos, I do a lot of walkaways, different angles, and this really allows me to do that easily. For example, if I have a tree limb on the trail that's low enough, or maybe even sometimes I want to get a higher angle, just simply bend one of the legs over, hang it on that branch, adjust it how I need to adjust it, and then I can get different angles and shoot the video. And when I'm in my editing software, I just rotate the video around. Love it, super light. Okay, I am bringing a Garmin InReach Mini. I have that up here. I have that all activated, ready to go. I've used this on other trails before, and what I find is that if you set the tracking to, I think it's 10 minutes or 30 minutes, if you set it too often, it really drains the battery. But during all my training hikes, I haven't been tracking, but I've just had the power on. And this battery has lasted over 2 weeks, and I think it's still at half. So my intention is not to track my hike as much as just to have this for emergencies. So I have the SOS button. As a tip too, I did get the insurance. For those of you that watched Dixie's video last year, I think it was last year, she ran into all kinds of problems after she had to push her SOS button, and it ended up, she ended up with some pretty hefty bills. So I did get the insurance, and for a relatively small fee, I was able to add Sarah onto the plan, so she's insured as well. And if you haven't heard this or not, one of the fine print, I guess you could say, in Garmin is that you have to use this SOS button to be covered with the insurance that you get. So for example, if you fell on the trail and broke your leg, God forbid, and another hiker came along and called 911 and said, don't worry, there rescue people are on the way. You're not covered. You have to use your Garmin InReach in order for that insurance policy to be in effect. I have a Z-Packs water bottle holder here. I don't have a smart water bottle, but my plan is to put a liter bottle of water in here. Okay, side pockets. On my left side, I have my toiletry kit, which has my trowel for digging a cat hole. I have some Dr. Bronner's soap, some hand sanitizer, TP, and then I also picked up some of these tiny towels. You just add water and then they expand into a towelette. These are pretty cool. I got a whole bag of them, like 100 of them it was very inexpensive. So I'll put a handful of them in here, and I mainly would just use these to clean up a mess. I figured I could just add a little bit of water, a little bit of the Dr. Bronner's, and something that I can use to maybe take a bath, a backwoods wilderness type bath, wipe myself down, etc. That's that. And then also in here, I have my tent stakes, some guy line for my tent. My tent stakes, I'm carrying 12 tent stakes. I have a combination of, I guess we'll get the shepherd's hook style stakes. And then I also have some Big Agnes stakes from our Big Agnes tent. I just got a combination of different stakes in here. I have 12 total again. And I did buy some, I think these are from Sea to Summit, and they're tie outs for the sides of your tent. All right, on the other side here is my water filtration system. We use the Catadine Be-Free for our water filtration. So I'll have this to filter water. We're also going to bring a small CNOC bag to carry extra water in. And then again, I'll have my smart water bottle. That system seems to work best for us. The flow rate I really like about the Be-Free. We have used the Sawyer before. Half dozen, one the other. I mean, the Sawyer was fine. The flow rate was just a little slower than we wanted. So again, that's why we went with the Be-Free. All right, that's that. Let's see, going on the back here. Baseball cap that I'm bringing is a Melon baseball cap. It's water resistant, so if I wear it and it's pouring rain out, at least the front part when my hood is up, will stay dry and keep my head from getting wet. And then it's mesh in the back for the warmer weather. On top, I just got a basic sit pad. I went on Amazon and just bought a really inexpensive sit pad to be, when you take a break somewhere, put in the entrance of my tent, as a mat when I go into my tent, etc. And in the back, sorry, I had to use a box to keep my backpack from falling over. In the back, I have my gloves and my hat. The gloves I'm wearing are just a pair of fingerless mittens. I've had these gloves for a number of years. I really like them. Obviously, it's great to have your fingers accessible when you're messing with your backpack, putting your tent up. For me, when I'm shooting video, I like to have my hands, my fingers free so I can manipulate things. And then the hat, I have a Paca wool winter cap. Going through the mesh part of my backpack, I have raincoat. The raincoat is a Patagonia Torrent shell, 3-layer. It's heavy. Yeah, I'm gonna use this for the winter start, but I haven't decided what I wanna get, but I'm thinking about switching this out for a lighter raincoat for the summer months because this is a little heavy. But again, I figure it'd be good for a winter start. On the coldest days that I've been training up here in New England, I've been wearing this over everything that I showed you, and I've been super warm as long as I'm hiking. And rain pants are just your standard REI rain pants. What I like about these is I did get the ones that zip up almost all the way on the side, so that they're easy to take off if you have your shoes on. So I like that. And then I have my micro spikes. This is an absorbent towel that I'm bringing to wipe my tent down if it's got condensation or for any other thing I need. And we don't know what we did with our cases for our micro spikes, so it's been working out pretty well. This thing is rigid and I've just been sandwiching it in between to protect my pack from it. A lot of this stuff, after the Smokies, we plan on sending it back and lightening our weight. And at the very bottom I have a pair of they're outdoor research. Yeah, outdoor research shell gloves for those days when it's pouring rain out and your hands cold. Keep your hands dry. At the top of my pack, I have my tent, which is the Durson X-Mid Pro. It's a 2-person tent. We decided to bring separate tents with the plan of sleeping together if it's super cold, or if we get to a campsite and there's limited tenting sites available. We're definitely going to share a tent, but we wanted to be independent if we needed to be independent of one another. And also during the summertime, 2 people in a 2-person tent is tight on any day, but during the summertime when it gets super warm or humid, just not comfortable. So we wanted to have our own tent. So here's my tent. And I have my food bag. So Hilltop custom bag. Got Georgia and Nero on the outside. It's a large. I did get it with the spoon holder in it, which I thought was neat. I've hated that on other backpacking trips. You can't find your spoons. But in here I do have a bunch of dehydrated meals. I have some breakfast dehydrated meals. I have some Carnation Instant Breakfast Essentials. I like to do that in the mornings. I'll take a packet of the Carnation Essentials and I'll mix that with a couple packets of instant coffee. That's a good way to start my day. The cook system that I'm using is from Soto. And comes with a plastic cover, which can keep the heat in. And also you can use it as a way to protect your mouth when you're drinking. The pot comes out of the insulated holder. Comes with it. It's got reflective material on the inside. The pot itself is your standard 750 milliliter pot. It does not have any handles on the side, but it comes with this little attachment that you can use to take it off the stove. My actual stove is a MSR stove I bought back in 2021, I believe. And it's got the auto igniter on it, auto spark. It's a great stove. I don't see any reason to replace it, so I didn't. Fuel canister. Extra Bic lighter, just in case. And I saw other people doing it this year. They just take a little piece of scrub, cut it, and use that to help clean their pots. I thought that was a great idea. Can't believe I didn't think of that. And the other thing we did this year, like I see so many people doing, is we bought one of these little flip fuel transfer devices for the fuel canisters. The three of us are traveling together, and I figured this would be a good way for us to share fuel with one another if we needed to. Also, the hiker boxes almost always have partially full fuel canisters, so it's a way to get that fuel, not waste it. And I have a standard towel, that absorbent towel, to help me wipe down, clean up any messes. So that's my cook system. All right, next in my pack is my puffy coat. I've had this for a few years now. It's an Enlightened Equipment puffy jacket. Love this thing. It's great for when you get to camp or when you take a break and it's chilly. You want to stay warm. And my clothing bag. Keep that in a separate Dyneema bag. Inside here, I have my inflatable pillow, which is a NEMO Filio. So the pillow. A pair of sleeping socks. Sarah bought these a number of years ago. They're heat holders. They've worked really well, so we're going to keep using those. I have an extra pair of Injinjis, an extra pair of Darn Tough socks. These are medium weight. Extra pair of underwear. Second pair I have are made by Paca wool. My sleep shirt is just a long sleeve Paca t-shirt. And I picked these up recently at REI. I realized that the Smartwool made these. They're actually pretty cool. They're heavier weight. I'm gonna probably just use them for sleeping pants, camp pants to wear around for the winter months. I'll definitely send them home after the Smokies probably. But I also figured, on worst case scenario, if it was a really cold day of hiking, I could wear these and just save the Nike running tights for my sleep pants that night. There's that. Getting close to being done here. My sleep pad is NEMO Tensor Extreme. I think it's got an R value. It claims to have an R value of 8.5. Really enjoy the comfort of this and how quiet it is. My sleeping bag. I went with the NEMO Disco 15 degree bag. Generally I use quilts, and I do have an Enlightened Equipment 20 degree quilt that I will be using for the summer months. I like the quilt. It doesn't feel as restrictive. But what I liked about this particular sleeping bag is it's cut for people who toss and turn. So it's a little bit wider at the shoulder area. And you know, I slept in it a couple of times, and it's comfortable. I think it's going to keep me much warmer than just trying to deal with a 20 degree quilt. I find sometimes the quilts are drafty, but we'll see. And along this actually was tucked along the side is my my electronics bag. I got a Hilltop electronics bag. Inside here, I went with an Anchor 10,000 milliamp charger. This thing's pretty cool. It's attached to it is the charging cord. This will actually charge. This cord here will charge my phone. It charges my flex tail, which I have in here for inflating my pad. And it also charges, I believe, I don't know, one other thing I have. It's like 3 things it covers. I think my headlamp, it doesn't charge. So I have some cords for things that I need. My headlamp is the night core headlamp that so many people have. I've had this for a number of years. I really like it. Oh, I know that the third thing it charges is, I don't know how much I'll use this, but I did pick up last year a very inexpensive wireless mic. This just plugs into the bottom of my iPhone, and then this part here you do need to charge. I don't know if I'm happy with the audio, but I'm going to bring it just in case. The flex tail that everyone has, love it. It's my charging block for my anchor and a couple more cables. Now I'm going to be doing a lot of editing, but again, fortunately I'm hiking with my sister and Sarah, and they are both carrying 20,000 milliamp. I think they're night core chargers. They're the newer ones that came out last year. They're a little thicker. So if I need extra juice because I'm editing and I'm running out, we can share. Then I have my medical bag. Again, I went with the Hilltop spread. Medical bag, and in here I have some medicine and your standard stuff: vitamin I, ibuprofen, some Imodium, some KT tape, some Band-Aids. That's about it in here. And you know, this backpack is water. It says it's waterproof, but we did both decide to get a small Dyneema bag liner that Z-Packs does sell for the inside, just to be really cautious about keeping our gear dry. And I think that's about it. I think that's everything. So we're getting closer. We're so excited. We're nervous too. Thanks for watching, everybody.